the money. Here we go. Money talk. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Hello, you okay? That's me, I know. Right, how you doing? Well, what a weekend that was, eh? I guess we're going to start with, hello, my name is Dan, aka the tipster in a suit, and I may not have been to the most racetracks. I've definitely not seen the most horses, but I am the best judge of race form that I know. Guys, it's time, isn't it? It's time we start putting some respect back on Tipster in a Suit's name. Raw Pagar, 6-1, anti-post selection midweek. Smacks, absolutely smacks. And to you 50 odd who watched, any of you 50 who joined me on Raw Pagar, I know 3 lads who are with me at Haydock that did, and to you loyal few, right, who followed me with Highland, the video before that as well. Just to share the love, right? Let's share these videos about. Let's start spreading the word of Tipster in a Suit, because I'll tell you what, I am molten hot right now, and I just want to share the love with everyone. These tips are coming in thick and fast. They are winning, and I want more and more people on this hype train. So, if you did join me on Raw Pagal, I want you to leave a comment down below with how you got on. Share and like the video and get the word out there. Leave a subscribe if you're not a subscriber as well, so you are first to know about any upcoming anti-post selections and all of my selections that I'm going to be doing. I just thought it'd be a good moment because obviously I had a storming weekend to go into the profit and loss for the season so far. If you go back and look at all of my channel selections and videos, I've staked £673 and I've returned 846 with a profit of 173. That's well over 20%, and being honest, some of my selections I'm doing in the post I don't mention in the video, and they're not going so well. So if I'd stuck with just the selection videos, it'd be even better. But I know how things can change, and I'm staying hungry, I'm staying focused, and we're going to keep this winning streak going. My last banker was 6-1, Raw Pagar, the one before that Highland 11-4, both absolutely smacked. And I'm hoping to follow up today with another at a bigger price. So make sure you stick around to see what those anti-post selections are. It was an amazing day out at Haydock. So I didn't get time to post all of my selections, but we were having too much fun out on the piss. Haydock is a beautiful track to go and visit. I'd highly recommend it. The scenery around it's nice, fairly good bar service for all. Beautiful ground, beautiful racetrack. I would highly, highly recommend it. There was some brilliant racing this weekend as well. I thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's get into it. Starting with Raw Pagal beating Grey Dawning. Now, I think defeat for Grey Dawning, there's nothing taken away from him there. Losing to a Haydock specialist. And it was basically down to that last jump that he bunny hopped, wasn't it? I think he is still a Gold Cup contender and to watch out. But all the credit to the workmanlike performance of Raw Pagal, who despite some fiddly efforts whilst going round and seeing Grey Dawning take half a length out of him, he was bold from the front. He just kept going and going, and he got down and dirty to beat Grey Dawning at Haydock. I think Grey Dawning still has a chance in the Gold Cup in what was a great staying performance, being beaten by a Haydock legend. And I just want to thank Venetia, Charlie and Raw Pagar for hosing up with my selection. Thank you very much. Also at Haydock was Trey Lawn beating Iroko in another amazing tussle of a race. I feel John Joe O'Neill, I do rate him as a jockey, but he should have got going a touch sooner. But Trey Lawn with another game performance, game customer, showing why he was heavily punted in for the Ultima. He has been put up £8 for that win to 152, but despite that, the way he stayed on against a real classy type in Iroko, I think he's still got a handicap in him off 152, and I think that will then springboard him into some later graded targets, maybe the Cotswold Chase. Iroko didn't lose anything in defeat there. It's first time up of the season. He's still rated as a really, really good prospect, trained in Britain and Ireland in what was a quality race that I'm sure we'll be looking back and thinking, wow, we got to see them in a conditions race. Lucky Place, if you were listening in, he was one that I was going to be backing wherever he turned up. He did turn up in that graded hurdle race, as I suggested. I haven't included that in my profit and loss stakes because I didn't put him up in a selection. I didn't give a stake. I do like how he found pressure when the tempo picked up. It was another amazing race with 4 of them in contention going over that last hurdle. But Nico was probably the first to get going on him. But I absolutely loved how he found pressure under Nico. And he asserted going away towards the end. I think he's an absolutely game horse with a bright future, probably in the staying hurdle division. State Man losing to Brighter Days Ahead. Look, Brighter Days Ahead is meant to be a champion hurdle horse, according to Elliot. Goes and beats State Man over 2 miles, and now it's a mare's hurdle horse. I don't understand it. Like, if punters are trying to latch on to what trainers are saying, you're just pulling your hair out. State Man lost nothing in defeat, don't get me wrong. It was first time up on testing ground, and I imagine at Cheltenham over 2 miles that form would be reversed. However, it also doesn't take away from Brighter Days Ahead, who had to do that donkey work up in front at a trip that is probably short of her optimum. All the hype around her going into last year and into this year looks like it might be true, guys, to be honest. And if she was to go mare's hurdle, she's got to be a cert. I do want to also touch on Ballyburn's chasing debut over fences. Look, he hasn't beaten anything, but he looked fairly comfortable. There were whispers he didn't jump too well, so that seems to be put to bed. The trip of 2 mile free, though, where's he going to go? Is he going to go to the Arkle or Brown? I don't think you can know really until the DRF, whether he goes for the 2 mile race or steps up and trip for the one that Factor Far won last time. Mentioning Factor Far, that John Durkin, what a never exceptional race. We were really treated this weekend, I feel, guys. I don't know about you. Let me know in the comments below if you feel we were treated some amazing races. I suspect the trip was too short for a lot of these Gold Cup prospects, especially with Galopin Deschamps just setting the pace from the front and then being allowed to be picked off late on. It would take an all-time great performance, in my opinion, for someone to do that against Galopin Deschamps over 3 mile 2 come March. Now, Factor Far does have that potential, but he's been backed into a short price. And winning a John Durkin over 2 mile 3, I don't think that's the sign of the future Gold Cup winner. I think the tests he faced later on in the season will be more of a true indicator. And shout out to Spillane Tower as well. Amazing performance from him. Just a quick note, Empirical Lord Can't Jump. He somehow won his chase debut yesterday, and I actually backed him. Lucky Gidley Park hit one and pulled up. He doesn't have a future over fences. In my opinion, he'll stay over hurdles. So on to the anti-post selections for this week, and it's the Coral Gold Cup in action at Newbury, and it's a brilliant staying handicap chase, which often holds its form. My selection was last seen serving it up to Al Dancer in the Badger Beer 3 weeks ago, and he seemed to be the only horse who was capable of laying a glove on Al Dancer until he got a little bit low at the 4th last, I believe it was, and fell. That run was coming off the back of a to-form run at Wincanton, where he's now only £4 higher for that win after being dropped £1 for that fall in the Badger Beer. The horse I'm on about, of course, is Remastered. I think he's a good play, and he has a great record at the track, and particularly in this race. Last year, he was pulled up after being hampered by a faller, so I'm happy to put a line through that one. I think you have to. And in 2022, he was just touched off by Milos, who was only carrying £2 more. A race that had Korat Rambler back, 9 lengths back, off a mark of 149. The year before, he was travelling the best as well before coming down, but he did look to be the winner 4 out. Of course, you don't know if he was going to go on and assert and win it, but he did look a good thing before falling. He's a usually solid and economical jumper. He is fairly low over the fences, and he does have a massive engine. He seems to have retained his ability as well, yet he's priced up as the outside of the field. David Pipe does have Neon Moon in the same colours, entered in the same race, but while Neon Moon has alternative entries, Remastered does not, and if running, I think he'll go close at 40-1. Victorino runs for the Inform Williams team, fell away after the winter, to be honest, last season during the spring, and is now back down to a winning mark. I think this is his time of year, back at a mark he can win at, and he would rate as the main danger in a field full of dangers. But I've done £10 each way on Remastered at 40-1 with 365. The Coral Handicap 2 mile 4 looks a tasty contest, and my eye is drawn to Spring Note. My eye is drawn due to the course form, which reads 1-1-1, so that's 3 wins from 3, including beating Brentford Hope, who was rated 134 and is now rated 148, contested in Grade 1s this weekend. So she was a progressive 5-year-old last year. She was particularly strong on the soft or heavy ground, which it will be, and is trip versatile between 2 and 3 miles. Her wins have come at, and is her only entry is this race, unlike multiple of the other entrants. She lost a shoe at Cheltenham on her reappearance, so I'm happy to put a line through that. And I think on softer ground, we'll see better effect. I think it will have brought her along for this first real season target, and she's currently 16-1 with 365 and is only 10-1 everywhere else. So with her course form and others likely to pull out, I expect her to line up closer to 8-7 to 1 on the day. So I've had £5 each way at 16 to 1 on Spring Note in the Coral Shake 'em Up handicap hurdle. There's a handicap chase to finish on the card that sees Petit Tonnerre, a cliff horse of mine, renewing his rivalry with Imperial Saint on £12 better terms. Petit Tonnerre is only 4 to 1 for that race, so it's a price I can wait for the day. Phil's Dudaries is an interested entrant and is largely confined to grade 1 and 2 hurdles. He'll be an interesting runner back in chasing off a mark of 141, but Gordon Elliott does enter some horses with a view to a festival mark later. So again, I would want to see him turn up before I played him. Liberty Hunter has to be feared if the ground was to go soft. I think he's still got some juice in his mark, whilst the aforementioned Imperial Saint is definitely improving with every run. And while he's got a lot to turn around with Petit Tonnerre for just a length victory, I don't think we've seen the limit of him yet. So this looks a quality race this far out with no play. The fight in fifth happens as well, and while there's no Constitution Hill, it looks to be a match between the first two, Mystical Power and Sergino. Now, on known form, Mystical Power obviously went and won came second in the Supreme, then won at Aintree, while Sergino effectively has only beaten Burdett Road. However, his potential could be limitless. I mean, he did beat Constitution Hill on a gallop, didn't he? So he could be it now. I'm only joking, but yeah, he could be anything. I am worried that he was going to go chasing, and now due to that injury, he's going to go hurdling. So we'll see how that pans out. Nemean Line is a rock solid best of the rest contender, but lump sum looked really good in the Welsh Champion hurdle, and that win, the form has been boosted with Steel Alley being an impressive winner at Haydock a couple of days ago. Therefore, I did want to find an each way angle, but it's a no play race for me, but it will be an interesting one. And finally, I wanted to touch on the long walk hurdle that takes place at Newbury on Friday, and it sees the return of Langadan and Strong Leader. On ratings, these two are going to be the best British staying hurdlers, and Langadan performed brilliantly in graded races towards the end of the season when he produced a field best RPR when last seen. There were whispers that he was injured during the start of the last campaign. So if he's staying injury free, he could shape into the best prospect for Britain in the Stayers hurdle. And he should be up to this kind of race. The usual suspects are Dashel, Drasher, Crambo and Beacon Edge. And while Crambo could have improvement, I expect the top two to probably be the best two in this race. And for now, the preference would be Langadan. He's currently 9 to 4. Which I suspect he'll only be a 2 to 1 shot on the day, so I haven't taken a price on him either. So there we are. There's my brag, my feeling good about myself at the moment right now, you know, Royal Pagar. And also my anti-post selections. I got lost in that moment then. I will stay humble, but please do share the videos. Let's get them out there. Let's get more people winning on these selections. If you've watched to the end, thank you ever so much. I massively, massively appreciate you as always. And I will catch you on the next one.